Hi, my name is Olivia Bishop, and for my Sports Med 3 Unit 6 nutrition project, I will be comparing an omnivore diet versus a vegan diet, specifically during the Stanford research with twins. This is what I'll be going over today. I'll be going over what is an omnivore diet, what is a vegan diet, the research Stanford has done with twins, and the results of that research. What is an omnivore diet? This diet is where organisms derive energy and nutrients by feeding on animals and plants. This includes a broader range of food sources such as fungi, algae, and certain microorganisms. Some pros of this diet is that it can be considered a flexitarian diet, meaning it's flexible to your needs, whether you want to eat equal parts vegetables and meat or more vegetables than meat. Also, with this diet, more nutrients are accessible because you're eating your meat, which provides your vitamin B and your folate. And if you're eating a more wholesome, non-processed food, which you usually would be during an omnivore diet, that can also improve your overall health. And it provides folate, like I said before. This is a macro or a chemical or something, a vitamin, there you go, that is in your meat that helps build your muscle. Some cons is the environmental impact. Specifically, while doing this research, they made points of how there's greenhouse gases with cows. There is tons of pig waste that is normally in Carolina, South and North Carolina. Pig waste is everywhere. Animal abuse is a big part, and antibiotic resistance in chickens. Most manufacturers will try to prevent bacterial infections in chickens by giving them antibiotics consistently on the daily, which that has led to a big part in why humans, because we ingest chicken, we become antibiotic resistant when we're sick. Also, there is a high caloric intake, so if you're not keeping track of how many macros you're eating, you could become overweight. What is a vegan diet? The vegan diet excludes meat and seafood. Vegan diets also don't consume every other food from animal origin. So, in addition to avoiding meat, vegans steer clear of dairy products, eggs, and honey. Additionally, vegan foods never contain any byproducts of animal agriculture, such as lard, whey, and gelatin. Some pros of this diet is that it reduces heart disease, which is what researchers at Stanford really looked into during this research. Sorry. It reduces the chances of cancer, helps manage diabetes, and it has the opposite effect on the environment, meaning you're not contributing to the greenhouse gases, animal abuse, pig waste, and you're less likely to become antibiotic resistant. Some cons is that you can have nutrient deficiencies, meaning that you may not get all the vitamins that you need as you would get in meat. So you would have to make sure that you're getting enough vitamin B, you're gonna make sure you're getting your folate. You just have to make sure you're getting all the key components of a good nutrition. This also can include social limitations. Many restaurants in today's world don't have vegan options. It's becoming more popular, but if you go somewhere with your friends or your family and they don't have a vegan option, then you're not really able to eat. So then that limits your time to be social because you obviously want to eat. This diet can also become more expensive because you're eating the organic, whole food, non-processed, and when something is processed, it becomes cheaper, and that's how manufacturers are able to make more money. So if you do decide to go with the vegan diet, it ends up being more expensive just because they don't use the pesticides and all the chemicals in it. The Stanford research that's been done. This study was done by Christopher Gardner, a PhD, and the Ringberg Farquhar professor and a professor of medicine. He is also known as the diet whisperer. And he had the idea to take 22 pairs of identical twins, 44 participants in total, and compare or give one twin a vegan diet and the other an omnivore diet to compare the differences. And by studying twins, researchers are able to control genetics as a factor. So they control genetics, environmental experiences, because that also has an impact on your genetics. And most dietitians will say that a diet is based off your needs and your genetics. So to see if this was a myth or not, he decided to use identical twins. This experiment also went on for an 8-week period. The first 4 weeks, he provided all the participants with food. He provided the omnivores with their own diet and the vegans with their strictly vegan diet. And then the second 4 weeks, he had all of the participants go and make their own food that followed this diet to show that if you did want to switch, that it isn't as difficult as some would think. The results of this diet. This right here is a lot of information, but overall it's just saying that the overall cholesterol levels of the vegans lowered by much more compared to the omnivore diet. The vegans also had a 20% drop in fasting insulin, and the vegans lost 4.2 pounds more than the omnivores. And all three of these things are main points to look at when looking at someone's cardiovascular health. So the vegans had better cardiovascular health when compared to the omnivores. One thing I forgot to mention here is they also did research to see whether a vegan diet or an omnivore diet can change your biological clock, which means how healthy your body is, not how old your body is. So they found that the vegan diet also reduced your biological clock. And they also found out that the vegans got rid of more of visceral fat, which is the bad fat that's around your organs that can cause cholesterol and all the bad stuff, chronic disease and everything. They found that with the vegan diet, majority of the vegan participants lost more visceral fat when compared to the omnivores. My conclusions. Whether you follow an omnivore diet or a vegan diet or any healthy diet in today's world, adopting a healthy and wholesome diet can benefit your overall health regardless of your genetics. Thank you for watching my presentation, and if you want more information, there is a whole documentary on this on Netflix called You Are What You Eat, a twin experiment, and that's where I found most of my information. Thank you for listening.